Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to continue on my charade with the Tau, and I like to think I got a good sense of what I need to do now, although I am going to stick with this fleet for a little bit longer. I do have alternate fleets that kind of play with the Bastions and the War Spears a little bit, although those are kind of more like single type ships and not like a whole fleet dedicated to them. So maybe for the Friday video or even on my stream, if I feel like I'm going to go that route or not, I will actually play with more dedicated type of auxiliary type of fleets. We will see, but I want to at least try and enhance my performance a little bit, and like I said before, I am really curious on the potential of the railguns, and if possible maybe even the Cao Yang effect, if there seems to be plentiful enough gas clouds or asteroid belts for me to utilize. And also to note, I did not realize that for my warfare when I was deploying that it automatically decided to go to Cao Yang for me, which I do not like. I kind of was going in a little bit with the assumption, kind of like how these skills and upgrades, it kind of remembers what I pick. I figured it would have done the same for Monka, so I didn't honestly ever look at it, let alone realize that it was kind of set to Cao Yang. That was a bit of an odd mistake, although it did kind of work to my advantage to a little slight extent in that Tau mirror match, since we were kind of fighting in gas clouds for crying out loud. But against the Drukhari, that was a bit of a burden, without a doubt. So I'm going to continue on here, and we're going to experiment a little bit more. Okay, Space Marines, this is going to stink if they ever get within reach of boarding me, which can be a bit of a problem, but at the same time, if I launch my bombers and secret missiles at a good opportunity, they're going to have a really difficult time avoiding them. So it's going to be an eye for an eye once they get within engagement range, but ideally, I want to keep them as far away as possible. And also to note, for experimentation with the YouTube quality, I actually did turn on my anti-aliasing. Because to be honest, I've been doing all these videos with it turned off. Now, I lost my train of thought there with the fandom, but like I was kind of saying, let's see, I turned on anti-aliasing. I haven't really experimented with this, mainly because I think the anti-aliasing just strains my eyes too much for long periods of time, so that's probably the main reason I've had it off. I honestly can't remember if I were to be serious, but if it seems to be an improvement or not, do let me know on comments, especially if it seems to be negative. And good God, why does everything seem all, it looks like I have no color at all. It looks like it's bugged out at the moment, if I were to be so honest. It's a bit weird. I don't know what to make of this. Nonetheless, we're dealing with heavy armor. I'm going to have to fall back a lot, so I'm not going to have the convenience of staying where I want. So Monka's the way to go. And I actually remembered it this time too, for good measure. And otherwise, I think I'll have the Sauces, at least in preparation, to start contributing, since I think we're going to have the majority of fighting around this third point maybe, or somewhere in between here. I'm going to have to watch my positioning very carefully, and of course the speed difference. These Warrens are prone to ramming my ships, which I do not want. Yeah, this is really awkward. I think it's because the lane's actually down below. I just don't want to rotate the camera for fear of not being able to reset it back to this default angle. It is just weird, really absurd, really odd. It makes me wonder if the anti-aliasing bugged out for that reason there, but I think all said that needs to be said. Do I even need repair drones, as silly as that may sound? I think Stasis Bomb might be more warranted to kind of keep them at arm's length. Since again, we're dealing with something that's going to be relying heavily on boarding damage. So I think that's what I want to do. Do I have anything to help me in that regard? Because oh, never mind. I was going to experiment with the fire breacher teams, because every time they do a boarding assault, it's either turret destruction. Oh, lances. Well, they're not all lances, but still. We're dealing with 4 possible lances, and I'm completely thrown off now by that. But at least it's not battle barges, but I need to grab this point quickly for the sake of being able to fall back quickly. So that's the plan here, and with the added speed, I could do that really well. And maybe I'll look into grabbing the third point there pretty quickly. They do have fighter bays, I gotta keep that in mind. I could potentially overwhelm their fighters, but I do need to keep that in mind. And actually, I want to just start dealing with their point defense a little bit, maybe. And ideally, have my protectors and all that separate from each other, too. And what I should have done... Oh, I'm going to run this away, have the protectors hold position.
You have seized a strategic area.
And ideally, these secret missiles should be really good, but I'm not going to have a convenient angle to fire. Well, actually, I could fire experimental railguns in combination with the stasis bomb. So that may not be as terrible as I make it sound, but... let's see how this works, though. Since again, my protectors are a bit of an awkward angle right now, but double railgun would be nice. This is part of the anti-aliasing right now. I cannot see the line for crap. I got a hit, but that don't do me a whole lot just yet. Huh. Oh yeah, you're using lances. I kind of forgot about that fact. That's going to be a big factor for me if I'm going to try and fight your lances. I'm still going to lose my shield to last. And we didn't actually kill enough point defense to really make it worth it. But can I at least engage from the side? Actually, I can. Oh, I used up all my combustion gauge, so that's a bit of a problem. You can at least still run. Stasis bomb will be up in a moment. And I do have all their engines prioritized, and we did some notable damage too. This is pretty much where Tau can potentially be the strongest, especially once we start getting those engine critical hits too. Just going to be a little bit awkward. They're chasing me, but this will be changed momentarily. Just don't let the engines get destroyed. Because this stasis bomb's going to be great. The bombers, well, the bombers got intercepted. That's what happened. Because again, they have strike ships, or they have hangar bays, is what I'm trying to say. Now, get these out of the way. Yeah, I almost burnt my combustion gauge again. The odd downside of having my frigate in the same group as my custodian. Never mind the fact my secret missiles did crap there a little bit too. But can we focus this down well? Because you are hitting your brace for impact. I have more objectives than they do right now, but experimental railgun's going to be tricky to utilize. But I can keep bombing them. Well, actually that's not true, they're launching fighters. But the fighters are going the wrong direction as well. Now I gotta fire secret missiles and do the damage necessary. That was really damn off. Good damage otherwise, but now need to kill these things. And that's actually their flagship too, so that kind of needs to die. You are in all sorts of trouble, and at least the Custodian is going to do the damage necessary, especially with these Manta Bombers. Now let's switch our stances a little bit here. And also I have Seeker Missiles, so let's not forget about that fact. So long as these things still have crew, they can still do a lot of damage, especially with the engines being prioritized. Yeah, I think I have to relegate this thing to being dead, but if it could still do damage, that's still great for me. Am I going to get Manta Bombers up in time, though? Because that's a weird visual glitch there, apparently. I think we're good here. Just gotta again watch for everything else. Bombers should finish that off. And Sauces could just disengage easily enough. Hell, they even have the good armor to kind of take these hits really well too.
For Armada, it will be so.
So, my flagship is gone pretty much, but it did really well. The entire fleet's kind of isolated, so this is still a victory, despite how messy this may look in a lot of ways. It definitely feels like a mess, because it feels like I'm doing very little damage with my railguns and kind of relying on the bombers and my seeker missiles to do the damage. But hell, the critical hits on the railguns still managed to allow me to isolate them. Good God. What the hell was that? Oh, that was my, replenish my crew. That's what that was. Never mind, that visual is kind of weird looking as well. Your engine is permanently gone. There's 2 strike cruisers left.
Accumulated 50% of strategic points.
And I would like to board.
The enemy has
I'm wondering if I should board. Actually, I'm going to suffer a lot of critical hit damage if I let all that crew die. And I still have technically 2 points there left. And I have no bombers left. I gotta keep that in mind too. I'm running out of bombers because of this, just trying to brute force with said bombers a little bit. But this should be over. This one, well, that has no health left, so it may still have engines and everything, but it's pretty much dead. Just gotta make sure I'm using these fighters appropriately. And actually keep in mind what we're up against here, or at least the debris kind of blocking shots too. Actually, and I gotta remember my scanner pulses. Those are pretty important since I am Monk. So we're all good here, and I got a second scanner pulse for good measure, but a lot of the reason why the combustion gauge burnt out, I think, is because whenever I go to my control group and I don't use the combustion gauge on my frigate, it just automatically shows the combustion gauge that's currently on what has the most, which is really inconvenient when I'm trying to avoid with the custodian. So I'm finding out. So it's probably a little better for me just to keep them in their own separate groups, for convenience sake. And you are marked. I am going to get bored heavily, but this is over. The damage has been done. I just now need the critical hits to make it work.
As the Ethereals wish.
A bit of an interesting fleet there, since raw damage isn't really the Space Marine's strongest suit, especially with since you rely so much on taking the shields down for your bombardment cannons and lances to do what they were kind of designed to do, which is, of course, ignoring the armor and doing maximum damage. Well, that was weird. I don't know what the hell happened there. We both know it was a victory, so good God. That is annoying. Okay, chaos. And we're left wondering what kind of faction or sub-faction they are. So I'm going to have to pay really close attention to what kind of coloration and detailing they have on their ships. That's probably what I most need to be prepared for. Since almost all the sub-factions, at least of the 4 Chaos Gods, all have pretty damn effective and damn useful type of abilities, so I need to be aware of that. And it's going to affect my mindset here, so... or at least how I approach this. It goes without saying, if I see corn or anything of the like, I do not want them close to me, kind of similar to with Space Marines. Although with slaughters, it's going to be a lot trickier to do. And hell, with that weird disconnect, whatever the hell you call that thing, that happened in the first match, it reset my skills too, to whatever it was. Yeah, to the repair drone then, not the stasis bomb. Now, repair drones are amazing against Chaos if they're the land space or going for the long drawn-out type of fight. Can still be really useful against slaughters as well. The trick is, of course, hitting them, and with this anti-aliasing I turned on, that makes it really damn difficult for me, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, that's some nice shading effect there. At least in this case, we know it's the lighting, even though it still looks like missing textures, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, I still have 1 frigate unaccounted for. So we're going to try this again with the Custodians. This is normally the bait.
The killing blow brings the enemy's end.
I normally like using it as the bait there, since it does have the damage potential to at least force them to stop chasing me, just because of the mantas alone. and I now have the convenience to pull them back, or at least make them retreat, if I am paying attention enough. So I like the possibility there of using the Custodian for that role, because it could still be a big threat. The only difference here, at least to my experience with Tau and Armada 1, is I'm actually going to have everything else trying to punish them while they chase said Custodian. Ideally. Now, what are we looking at for a fleet here? So far, there's 5 cruisers or 5 ships of some kind.
Aircraft ready for orders.
And is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Didn't pay that much attention to the speed, though. Oh, the frigates rammed each other. That was a little bit annoying. Not a huge deal yet, but a little bit annoying. I almost wonder if I want both these frigates with the Sauces, so that way I have permit marker or scanner pulse potential with at least this squad, which has the most railgun potential out of all these other sub-squads. Since the Protectors only have single railguns for, well, that's the Prow ones. Yeah, they only have single railguns, whereas the Sauces, the Emissaries, all have double railguns, which make them a little more impactful, never mind, drastically cheaper. And I should launch the Custodian fighters just in case. And all the while, we're going to have to start pushing towards the middle of the point anyway. Since they have the convenience of 3 objectives to protect and secure, I don't really have that. But I can converge my fleet really damn well, at least. And I want to keep one fighter bay available in case they decide to brute force bombers on me.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Kind of with what I learned with the Impalers from last episode, after all.
The Tauva shall prosper. We serve the Kovatra.
Now, curious what these are. So this looks like Slanesh, so and they're Acherons, so this works well for me. I just need actual fission.
The ethereals guide us.
Here's the only catch.
We serve the Kovatra. Barracuda shoals launched.
Now, can I do damage to this? Because I don't want these frigates to die, it goes without saying. And they are what's prioritized at the moment.
Honor the teachings of Yana.
And I also have experimental railguns, and look at this prime shot. Oh, it was a prime shot. I think I still hit both of them, so that's damn good.
Identified an enemy target.
And conveniently, they have made themselves noticed.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
There is your prey, Kola.
Now, where's my other frigate? Okay, let me at least scanner pulse and get the damage in. It's a bit spread damage, but hell, they're kind of doing the same thing, aren't they? So I'm not too worried one bit here. It's just whatever that third ship is I might be worried about.
How may I serve the Tauva?
Okay, I take that back. I messed up control a little.
Honor the teachings of Yana. We serve the Kovatra.
So they do board me. Oh, and the flagship right here too. So this is the one thing I want to go after most.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Yeah, this lane is really damn weird, but
Position.
they try and do the shenanigans on me.
The greater good.
Well, that frigate survived, if only just barely.
Will be so. That cannot be done for.
Oh, permanent engine critical hit, goddamn. You lucky bugger.
At your orders, Koro.
Let's at least kill these off, I guess, then. He's did good damage on that. That's not quite dead yet, but you're gonna be hitting pretty soon.
Korel, ready.
And I have experimental railgun handy.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
That was the wrong button, damn it.
Maneuvering thrusters.
Oh, you're marked, that's why. I thought the deck was destroyed. Not quite the case.
By my sept we shall attack.
Now.
Barracuda.
Oh, those were Barracudas and not what I wanted at all, but...
For Anvar.
And you were constantly being marked. Okay, you're hitting now, so you're safe.
To spread the greater good.
So if you can... Oh, actually, rally. I don't need you mutiny right now, so Let's keep you focused on the job at hand.
However shall prosper.
And all the while,
Serve the Kovatra.
since their one frigate is... Well, the frigate's not quite gone yet, so let's keep that in mind.
Ready. The Tauva
And we still got a lot of fighters dealing with these.
Aircast ready for
Actually, I should be able to do a lot of damage here now.
Pure tides teach
Let me just keep out of vision range and ideally keep you hitting. You're taking a lot of damage. And you have experimental railgun for me too.
ready.
The sooner we kill some of these, the better.
Ethereal's wish. Bombing run underway.
Come on. I'm hoping this railgun hits there.
Spread the greater good.
There.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic
Fighters are still
points.
chasing you, so you could burn all your gauge. That won't help you a whole lot yet, but let's try grabbing the objective here, because the battleship's about to grab our point too.
At your orders, Koro.
And gotta keep in mind,
Serve the Tauva.
you're about to mutiny too, so I don't like that one bit. Another 10 seconds and you're golden.
Restore the Earth Cast's construction. The Ethereal's
I'm gonna leave the rally handy for now, for situations like that.
honor the teachings of
I think Warren is destroyed, so that's a little unfortunate, but
bombing run underway.
you are pretty much dead. Now,
The enemy is
I don't know where the
seizing
other
more
ship went.
strategic areas.
if it's possibly gone, that would be really nice right now.
The Tauva. Tauva shall prosper.
The enemy
There, you're
has
hitting,
seized
you're
a
good.
strategic area.
Now,
Lunatic drive engage.
finish this off. Engines are destroyed. Completely destroyed. That was not what I wanted in the slice, but we still have a gas cloud to use.
Strategic area.
Gravitic drive to maximum.
Now, kill this off and we'll have more bombers at the ready.
Gravitic drive engage.
And ideally, we could kill this off fast enough for me to benefit from the gas cloud here. Since they only have a single frigate, so I'm finding out. Or at least they currently only have a single frigate.
For Armada, it will be so.
Can we kill it quickly? I do have bombers, but I could use it for other means.
Barracuda shows launched.
Oh, and the frigate's also gone too, so we just killed that off. So I'm in a good position, I just gotta grab points now.
As the Ethereal's wish.
Which I do have a nice healthy lead, I just gotta repair now.
How may I serve
Which is
the
gonna be
Tauva?
tricky with one of my protector's engines gone.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
Oh, I shouldn't have just flew out there. That was a bit of a mistake.
Calculating new
So let me
vector.
get the objective. Grab all the objectives I can, and I'll have the nice secure points here.
Closing on your position.
And I have repairs underway as well.
The Ethereals guide us.
Just everything's not going to get all the benefits of the repairs.
Corel, ready.
But this works well. This works nicely enough.
Closing on your position. We serve the Kovatra.
Now we just gotta play the waiting game, repair, get morale back up.
Targeting sensors. Lock on.
You have accumulated 50% of
Yeah, we
strategic
currently have,
points.
well, we're about to have 3 points, so that's gonna be pretty nice for me in this
Drive to
regard.
maximum. To spread the greater good.
How? Okay, they almost got the point, so they can start turn around and get ready to disengage.
Aircast ready for orders.
You have seized a strategic area.
I'm just hitting, not really hitting at the moment, but I would love to launch fighters on you, but you're kind of going back into the gas cloud.
Barracuda shows.
Which I guess I'm okay with, because it's only a 2-man squadron I'm launching with.
Ready.
And what's destroyed? Just a couple of railguns.
You have seized a strategic area.
We serve the Kovatra.
Should have probably launched bombers now that I think of it, but
For Onva, it will be so.
can I get the experimental railgun hit? There we go, that looks like a good hit. Oh, it hit my sauce too, damn it.
The Ethereals guide us.
That is not all what I want, but if it can't hide, these secret missiles are gonna hurt.
Corel, ready.
Because the fighters are gonna screen for it incredibly well.
cast ready for orders.
And I have one charge about to come back up of my missiles, so I think I'm okay here. Although, I know there's a target coming up, so I have a scanner pulse at the ready.
Torel, ready. Restore the Earthcast's
Yeesh, I don't know what caused the fire on you there. Oh, it was the railgun that did that. Okay. And sadly, this is not going to get to go very far due to its lack of weaponry.
We serve the Kovat. As the Ethereals wish.
And you actually missed the ram too, which is kind of nice for me. You're all sorts of screwed. That's only 5 seconds, I'm afraid to say, so that doesn't do you a lot of favors just yet. Now let me just scanner pulse you to keep this scanner going. And I want to maximize my critical hits, cripple this thing as quickly as possible.
How may I serve the tower?
Yeesh, that was close. I tried hitting said, which actually would not have worked because, of course, it was my dang, I changed my hotkeys after all.
At your orders, Colonel.
Let's see, where are my air bombers? I don't know where my air bombers are, but this will still hurt. An experimental railgun's gonna be a perfect hit. This looks over. The repair drone alone did amazing work for me with the longevity, but... Oh, ram damage, ram damage!
Your patient hunter gets the prey.
This is really inconvenient if I don't make sure they don't have a wide movement arc. It goes without saying, we just witnessed how tricky that can be if I just rush my way to doing right-click moves. But that is a little problematic for me, trying to actually see the dang experimental railgun. Good God, it is so damn difficult to see beacons as well due to this anti-aliasing. I kind of dislike it. So I'll have to play around with it a bit to see if I can at least find a middle ground, if nothing else. But chaos is, at least against long-range lance-based chaos, the repair drone almost single-handedly makes that a very difficult fight for chaos to win in. If they can start getting the critical hits, and I don't know if the repair drone is tied to like generators or anything like that, so they may have to prioritize my generator as opposed to maybe my engines. Otherwise, it's like I said, that's a very tough match for chaos, just because of the convenience of repairing my health. Okay, more Drukhari, and this time I've learned my damn lesson. It's going to make it again tricky for me to spread out and grab objectives to kind of force Drukhari to come at me, but we have little choice in the matter, at least until I'm a little more comfortable on where their positions are. So maybe I can go after where they're isolated, kind of like how I used that with my Tyranid fleet to a vague extent.
Mondka, the killing blow brings the enemy's end.
Especially after getting rid of the flagship there so early on in my Tyranid game, and knowing where the other battleship was, it allowed me to sort of safely poke forward to at least try for a 4th point, which paid off really nicely there, I want to argue, for me, as the fight or the battle dragged on. Otherwise, I'm still wondering if it's more convenient for me to have 2 frigates with the sauces or not. Since they're kind of hanging back naturally, maybe that can work. I just don't know where I would want to put the other frigate there. Since ideally, the Custodian is perfect for grabbing the objectives for me, so I don't need to have frigates do that in this case. That would be my argument at least, especially since I'm encouraged to stay clumped up anyway. And also, to help make sure these firing arcs are ideal, I'm going to make sure the frigates are... yeah, just set the prow arc. I just did it like that, so at least that way I find even if I click on this when it shows me front arc, it doesn't actually change the wardens unless I manually select them. But switching over to side engagement and back seems to work as well. Otherwise, I don't think experimental railgun's all that useful. Maybe beacon can be good. At least for area control and area denial, especially with these gas clouds, but they don't need gas clouds, who am I kidding? I really am wondering what would be good here in this regard. Nonetheless, I think it's just overthinking at this point. Okay, so we know where they're either... Well, we have a good idea where the ships are, since my opponents decide to hide them in the one of the gas clouds there. Which is probably over on the far right, if I were to be serious. There's not quite enough room for them, I think, to put 3 battleships over on the left. I could be wrong. There may likely be one over there, but only just the one. And with that said, let's launch a couple fighters for a little bit of early warning there. Since I still have the custodian fighters, although bad time to run out of combustion gauge, I suppose.
Ready for orders.
Now you're the only one I want to kind of hold fire for the time being.
Gravitic drive engaged.
This will help protect my left arc a little bit. I don't know the exact detection radius for seeing stealth ships, but I think it's about half the range, which is kind of why I have them overlap like this. To help alleviate that to an extent. At least give me a little more salt arc.
The patient hunter gets
so frigate there. That I can rest easy on. Protectors don't go ramming each other. I gotta remember to kind of spread out their move arc. That'll help some.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And then get ready to grab my third point here. All the while, be prepared for a flank maneuver of some kind, which my frigates are perfectly placed to at least be safe. So we don't know where the frigates are just yet. I've just been identified, so that's a bit of a tell. Oh, yeah, it's just a tell by the frigates, if nothing else, so... I have scanner pulses to help with this. I just want to be very certain I see what I need to see.
Drones have identified an enemy target.
I'm gonna hold fire with you because they're not really needed for dealing with a frigate, for crying out loud. I want to go with that argument, but you never know where the flagship or the battleships are, since they're not really grabbing objectives at the moment. And you are all but dead? I would love to finish you off. Isn't it possible? Oh, I think we got it, just barely. So that's less vision for my sauces, or at least to reveal my sauces, but my opponent hasn't pulled anything just yet. Now the big question, do I get greedy trying to grab the fourth objective up there?
At your orders, Colonel.
That's what my thought process is. How greedy do I get? In all honesty, I kind of want to watch for potential flank maneuvers. The amount of time it took for my opponent to even get the amount of time my opponent has to move around, they could easily backdoor me, so I might as well push towards the third point here, especially since this is a much more advantageous position anyway.
How may I serve the Tauva?
Gotta be ready for this. And which ones have scanner pulses?
Drones have identified an enemy target. We serve the Korvatra.
Alright, so these are standard lances, so this might hurt a bit. And I do have repair drones as well, so do the damage necessary. This was not at all what I had in mind. Now, kill it. Kill it quickly. I should have fired secret missiles. I didn't think my opponent would actually commit this much to this engagement. If I were to be serious. Okay, got a good hit there. It's a bit weird. I won't lie, I'm messing this up maybe a tiny bit, but that's going to change in a hurry. And the ramming damage is absurd, too, with that said. Oh, I fired with everything, good god. I didn't realize what I just rough on myself. But yeah, this is not all that exciting, but it's all but over anyway. Now, finish off our prey. Interesting strategy. Don't know if it's going to pay off there, since my Custodian still has full health, and I got... It could still go badly just because my frigates are getting shot down.
How may I serve the Tauba?
You have accumulated 50% of strategic
Actually, I
points.
should just chase that thing down. I have the means to.
At your orders, Koro.
But it's smarter to just grab these objectives. We already destroyed 2 battleships for crying out loud. You are in no real shape to contribute just yet.
Tauba shall prosper.
Actually, I do want to keep you close to the battleship too.
Orders, Koro.
For the repair drones that's about to come up. This is an interesting conflict of interest right now. Repair the protector, or have it just grab the point back and trust that my opponent is not going to be able to jump it as easily as they would like. Since this isn't really going to do a whole lot for me anyway.
25% of strategic points.
It's nice to see the Lance Heavy type strategy, since I think I'm the only one that actually uses ships, at least a ship I suppose is the proper term, that is dedicated towards the Lance and the raw firepower, as opposed to the burst of the torpedoes and the boarding potential of the Impalers. I don't know if I would go so far as the triple battleship, mind you, since I don't really like being so top heavy in general. Oh god, that was a mistake too. I didn't realize how low my crew count was.
The ethereals guide us.
But this is over.
How may I serve
It's just a question if my opponent realizes that yet or not.
to spread the greater good. The Tauba
And then otherwise, keeping this
shall
protector
prosper.
alive is probably what I want to do most. Oh, never mind. They gave up. Definitely the damage is absurd. I managed to turn around fast enough to help soak the damage a little bit. Could have been faster on the brace for impact. Since I did activate the repair drone early, and even then, they were killing my protectors quickly. That could have still been very dangerous if I had lost my frigate. It could have been dangerous anyway. Just depends on how capable my opponent would be at hit-and-run maneuvers with just a single battleship. Otherwise, that was pretty straightforward. Definitely different. I'll give him that.